Welcome back everyone to the Hanseatic Dreamland, our Planet Coaster 2 project. Today we are going to turn this barren, very empty corner into something really cool, and we are going to talk a lot about the brand new Update 2. However, in this video there's not going to be that much from Update 2, because obviously I've been building this in the last couple days, and at the end of the day we will have a real-time part in which we are doing something very cool with a billboard, but more about that later in the real-time part. First of all, let's talk about the sponsor of the channel, which is, as you all know, Instant Gaming. This is a platform where you can grab very good valued game keys, or you can actually purchase in-game currency for a good value. So basically you get a value of in-game currency for a lower price, and then you can spend that on whatever game. But the same goes for the platform itself. You can get some DLCs, games, pre-orders, whatever. Make sure to check out the link in the description, or the linky that turns up to your top right now, if I remember to put it in, and check out what you can find. But now let's talk about the video today. So we are going to work in this corner around this wonderful coaster we've built in the last episode. And yes, there are a couple of things we have to talk about because I have not addressed them in the video. So first things first, yes, I decided against the typical hypercars. Even though there are hyper trains in this game, I wasn't expecting them to get interchangeable coaster cars, and I haven't even tested if I could theoretically change the cars. But that was a decision that I took myself because I like the sit-down version much more. Just like, I know it's not correct, but I just like it more visually. That's all, okay? So there's not really a specific reason why I did this else. But hey, this is why exactly I did this. And yeah, there was also like a definition of how tall a coaster needs to be, a hypercoaster, and I learned that it's counted from the lowest part of the, like where it goes up, and from the like lowest part to the highest part, and so we kind of have confirmation that this technically would be a hypercoaster. But that, you know, that just about this. Let's talk a lot about this corner over here, and also, this is a very nice blueprint for the entire project itself, and I'm very happy to talk about this before we talk about the Update 2 that I have already praised in a video yesterday. In case you haven't seen that one, check it out beforehand. But this corner over here is one of these examples that this game, or like that this park will feature a lot. So as this is an abandoned harbor area, we work with an architecture or with a layout that is more or less set in stone. That means we have a harbor area that already existed, and there will eventually be these type of corners that realistically you wouldn't do necessarily in a theme park this way, because they kind of create some dead ends, and there is not really that much you can do about this because it is a set in stone area, as I said. So we have to work with it the best way possible, and I feel like these corners are equally the best thing we have, because they challenge me to get creative with the tools and build something that looks nice and kind of still draws the attention of people, but it also gives us a chance to implement some stuff that I wanted to do for a very long time, like restaurant areas, shop areas, like these kind of things. And I'm hoping that in the future we are getting more and more of this stuff in this game, like souvenir shops, proper shops, proper restaurants. That would be lovely. I mean, we do have some picnic tables and stuff that we could do this, but technically we don't really have a restaurant in-game that functions like a restaurant we had in, for example, Planet Zoo. Now, that said, I also wanted to make sure that these areas somehow still integrate nicely into the park. So with this area, we do have one of the larger warehouses in the center of it that's actually, as you've seen at the beginning of the episode, is excluded by the usage of barriers. And I'm gonna explain to why I'm doing this, because in the next episode this will be taken for the staff buildings. I'm not, like, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to say what is going to be next, because I am working on something for this park, but in a completely different area of the park that is also not visible, so hopefully I'm not going to spoil that in any of the real-time parts. I shouldn't be able to, because it's very well hidden, but this is a bigger project, and the episode of that will be released when it's ready. And as I don't know how much time I have, I'm spending time when I feel like, and then I'm continuing this still like this park area. Now, this episode, unfortunately, has brought to a halt by the update, and also has been brought to a halt by a crash I had with the game that unfortunately wasn't a crash that the game caused, but I feel like my graphics card is about to die. It served me very well for many, many years, but I feel like it's starting to, sign off slowly. I lost the progress, and then it was my stupidity. I just didn't go back into the game to recover the autosave and make a proper save, because I was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go back into the game tomorrow and then that'll be fine, I'll be saving it. However, the day tomorrow was actually the day where the update launched, and I was going into the game and was testing a lot of things. And guess what I did? I just forgot to save the autosave again and kept on building in a different file, which caused a different autosave to exist, and yeah, the other stuff was lost, which is a bit of a pain. So at the end of the episode, you'll see some progress that I have to just redo, which obviously is not going to be part of next episode, but I have to do it. I do try to recover the autosave. In the old Planet games, it was always possible that you used a normal kind of data recovery tool, and then you could recover the latest autosave files, and then you just check them by the date and the time where you did this. Apparently that doesn't seem to work right now. I have done already a test. I'm doing another test with a different program now. Hopefully this is gonna work, and if not, I'm gonna build it again, because I do know what I'm building. Like, the advantage is, and I always have that, if I'm happy with what I build and I know exactly what I did, next time around I'm obviously a lot quicker. But hey, that shouldn't be our talking point. Let's talk about this corner, because I am so happy with how it turned out. What I was doing with the Flatride, I was raising the Flatride a little bit, and the main reason for that is that I imagined that a lot of the mechanics and a lot of the storage and stuff for this building is actually below the building, like all the electronics and stuff like that. And usually in a normal park, you would do like kind of you would dig out a hole, in which the hole would all be like the concrete and the foundation and like kind of the batteries, the engines, whatnot. However, as this is being a harbor area, sometimes you would obviously have a problem with not having the chance to go into the basement, because literally there would be water, or you would have some actual issues with water. So even though in this park we do have some lower down areas, I imagine in the storyline we would be using the areas that are kind of safe, or where the attraction is so meaningful, like a coaster for example, that all the work required to dig out a hole and secure all the water from the outside is justified for what the ride does. But this Flatride over here wouldn't be as big of a star, and so this is the reason why you would kind of rather raise it up and have some more space below this whole thing. And that's the reason why I put this a little bit higher up, and I put a little bit of a wonderful shop in front of it, and I'm very happy to say that this is like a little nod to the northern area in Germany, like Hamburg area. You'll see why in a second. I'm gonna create like a tiny sign for it. It's not tiny, it's like it's a huge sign, but the sign is going to give away what kind of shop this should be, and I needed to do that because it's so typical for the Hamburg region, and it's also like a tasty thing you can get. I wish we could do our own products in the game. That would be fun, but apparently we can't. But I just needed to do this, and as you can see, we do have a little fish kind of sign in the game anyways, and so what we could do is we were able to do a Fischbrötchen. So in case you don't know what that is, this means basically a fish sandwich, but that's a discussion we should have. We should have had already. For all these non-German speaking, or not, actually not, it's not really about the language. It's not, for those of you who have not been in Germany so far, there is a thing about our culture when it comes to bread. And like the sandwich that you guys, for most parts in the world, know, is kind of the translation to what I'm referring to, but it's not. Like, we do have proper bread, okay? We Germans, we love our Brötchen, we love our Brot, we love all of this stuff, okay? And one of the worst things for us is going to another country, and if we are going abroad, and the most harmful thing is basically the breakfast, because a vast majority of the world has no idea how to do proper breakfast. And obviously I'm joking, because for us Germans, kind of a running gag that we say we have the best breakfast in the world, but apparently it's just what we are used to. But hey, it's all about the fact that we have proper bread, and Germany's culture is a lot about proper bread, and so the Brötchen is something very cultural relevant. And this is why I needed to do this. And in Hamburg, as it being a harbor area, sea region, you know, they obviously have Fischbrötchen, which again would be translated to fish sandwich, but it's not like a sandwich. It's really like a proper, well-baked piece of bread, and then a proper fish is put on top of it with a lot of mayonnaise and a lot of stuff like that, or even with like onion rings and stuff. Oh gosh, I love it. It may not sound so tasty for everyone, but trust me, it is. So yeah, apparently I'm a big fan of it. And it's super cultural. It's super cultural relevance, and so this is why it's part of it in here. And I'm very happy to put that thing in this corner. Like you would go there, and maybe because of the smell of the fish, it is good to have that in the corner. Realistically, you would have this type of kiosk also very close to the sea and where you can see the water, which is why this is going to be an ongoing brand throughout this park. So we will have multiple Fischbrötchen kiosks appearing throughout this build, which is going to be a fun thing to do. And maybe we will also have a fish restaurant, as we have restaurants in the future. Yeah, you can see me putting down a couple of bins and benches over here, putting some lanterns in. I found this lantern also being very interesting. I've never seen that before. I'm not sure why. And then I saw that on a screenshot for the new update, and I was like, hey, that's kind of good. Anyways, let's quickly talk about the update, because this is all obviously built without the update. And I already noticed that while testing yesterday, that there's a lot of things improved over, well, the state of build I had over here. Like specifically the menus and stuff have been improved nicely. Little things you can't see, and this is what I just like, that's the point I want to get across. There are things that are visible changes, visible bug fixes, but then there is something about a game that I call the feeling. And the feeling of a game is something very hard to put in words, and also even harder to put in visible things, like in visuals. Like it's almost impossible. Like for me, the best example is when you have when you have, for example, the Planet Coaster game, and then you opened Planet Zoo. The moment you opened the game, it felt like a Planet game, and that was important back in the day. Because it literally makes you feel you know what you're doing in this game. You kind of know the things you do. And this feeling wasn't available in Planet Coaster 2 up until this update. I, for the first time, had the feeling again being in a Planet game. And there are subtle things that spark this feeling. Also, I need to mention, we're building a hotel room in the background. And this is very interesting, because it's gonna be absolutely non-functional and just for a background of a background. But let me talk about that in a second and finish my little thought from before. So the feeling of a game, I think when I want to try, or if I would to try to explain what that is, it's kind of a combination of how menus feel and how responsive certain elements of a game are, and how certain things visually respond to what I would expect them to be. And also, like, it just in general, also sounds from menus and stuff. And there were a lot of things that just didn't match up, and I can't really, again, as I said, it's really hard to pinpoint. But some fixes in this update now, like little things, like that you can now open a top menu of the scenery brush, where you can see all scenery brushes at once. The fact that you now have a little preview on which kind of type of path you are on, a little bit of a more snappy menu. Certain elements in the menu are now better highlighted by having subtle shadows behind that were there before, but now they just increased the contrast a little bit more. They implemented some new icons, and they streamlined certain things like the multi-select, and you grouping pieces is now way more easy by clicking just an icon. Automatically things are confirmed. You don't have to confirm that. Just taking out certain unnecessary steps that were integrated to the game. And just these kind of things make me feel again that this is a proper Planet game. And I can't even say how important I find this. For me, this is one of the most important things about the game. And it's not necessarily that everything should feel like a Planet game. No, hell. But like if, for example, if you have like a racing game and, you know, you like a certain way of racing game, how it feels, the next racing game should obviously be better, but the feeling should be somehow the same to still have the same accessibility into the game. And it goes on, you know. And this is very, very good to note now. And obviously, we all agree that the other Planet games haven't been perfect either, but like, they had a lot of very, very big strengths, and it's good to see they are coming back slowly. And as I said also many times now, there is still a lot in this game that needs to be fixed. Weather is still catastrophe. Like, really, I don't even know why they wouldn't just bring in the like, as I said that in my overview video, and I'm very happy that they didn't just bring in old features. No, they also improved them. For example, like with the billboards now being able scalable. As you can see over here, the screen in here is not scalable. When I was placing it, now the screens are scalable, which is great. And also the way how multi-select works with the filters now. Very nice that they improved upon that. But with weather, for example, I would be fully happy if they just didn't touch it. If they just took what was already amazing in Planet Zoo and put it into this game one by one. They tried to do something about the weather, which clearly didn't work, and so, yeah, hopefully when we see an update on the roadmap, which we should see in the next Frontier Unlocked, I guess, then I hope that they will be addressing the weather. But yeah, so this for me was really, really important to touch upon, because I feel this is of major importance when it comes also to the future of this very series you're watching. And thank you for watching. If you're still watching and listening to me, you are amazing. You need to click on the like button now and subscribe if you haven't already, because you made it 17 minutes with me. Like, if you manage to do this, you better subscribe, because otherwise the weather will never be fixed, okay? And it's always going to be raining in here. No, I'm just joking. I'm not. You have to. But the fact that this game obviously has so many people involved that, like, you know, people love playing this game and love playing the first game, and so it's very good to see it fixed. And I just want to, you know, get a couple of last words in here, because we are now in the footage that unfortunately is lost. Or actually, the footage isn't lost, but the save, whatever. I'm very happy with how it turned out in this corner over here. As I said earlier, the idea was to bring something into the corner that still works as kind of a bit of a magnet for guests, but then again also has this character of being a little bit of a hideout where you can relax for a little bit. And, you know, I do suggest that this ride may not be so loud. I mean, still it is loud, but it's not maybe super loud. And so you would have the chance to get some more relaxed time in this corner. It's not going to be so crowded than the rest of the park is. This park over here realistically would have a very high noise, because it's gonna be a very crowded park in the center of the park, because a lot of things will be happening around the center where the bridge crosses the two sides of the park. So that's gonna be one of the major axes of the park, which is super loud. And then you have the hypercoaster, which should be a very big magnet for guests. So the queue will always be very, very crowded as well. So it's very important to have a bit of a balance to that. And this corner over here surely is the balance that we needed. And so I also made like a bit of an access to the, or fake access, I should say, to the Flatride. The more I think about this, it's kind of funny, to be honest, because we do have an entrance and exit, and something that happened now with Frontier giving us the separate loading and unloading stations. There is one thing I figured, like, they did a step that I'm like, you know, you implemented something into the game now that should be a thing now, because I've kind of found this very logic and very, like, it made a lot of sense to me that you need to have an exit solely for the staff member. And when I was thinking about this, I was like, yeah, well, didn't we, or just, could that be a thing for every ride then? Because there's no dedicated staff entrance in Flatrides. like we didn't have that before anyways, but now with the introduction of separate loading unloading station, this kind of becomes a thing, and I'm like, okay, maybe that would be cool to have for all the rides, because it is a bit more realistic to have a staff only entrance. But yeah, that's just a minor thing. And so I was like, okay, let's fake this, that we have like a bit of a staff entrance over here. So that's all I did, and I put like a little bit of a rope in as a bit of a barrier. But yeah, so this is all about this. Let's jump into the game, and when I was able to recover it, we will be able to see exactly what we are building right now. If not, it's gonna be a previous version, but I'll be able to fix that rather quickly. So hopefully you enjoyed this talky talk and the episode so far, and now it's time to go to the real-time Rudi. So in the real-time part, and we are actually going towards this area in a second, just to have the view of what we did last episode, where we started off. You can see already the Flatride in the background and the little pillar on top, but we will still need that one, so don't you worry, that's gonna be playing a little bit of a theme today. But yeah, let's move on. I wasn't able to restore the old save, but I did do a couple of things, and you'll be able to see that the hotel rooms in the background are in. That's one thing I did. And also, as you can see, there is a sign for the hotel which is saying Speicher in, which is the name of the hotel. And so this is our wonderful area over here, potentially going to be our thumbnail anyways. But yeah, there you can see the Fischbrötchen. I still love that. Oh gosh, I'm hungry now. It's very late in the day, but I'm still hungry. So yeah, very cozy corner over here, honestly, with that like area over there where you can see the coaster going up there, and yeah, just like really it all fits together well. We do need to put a couple of trees in. We do this together in a second, and you can see that other Flatride is also placed down already. So as there is not really that much more to say, let's actually move over into our very well-known camera, and we're going to go free look. Yeah, whatever. And let's move up the camera a little. So here goes that, and this is the area we are in, but I wanted to do something very specific with you guys. So let's go in and say round, and then wall. Is that called wall or video? Round video. No, it's actually just video, isn't it? Yeah, video. Is it oval? Video wall panel round. Okay, whatever. And we're going to take the biggest one, which is the 16-meter one, is the biggest one. And this is why, yet again, the hard drive ran full. Not really sure why it's always happening, but anyways, let's continue to do so. And we're going to search for the middle. I press F on the keyboard to find the middle. The reason for that is pretty simple. We go down. Also, I ensure that I don't have the video wall, the lit one. This is the normal one. There's obviously also a lit one, but we don't want to have the lit one. And then going to bring this all the way down. You can see this is going to go here, and what we're going to do now is we're going to scale this all the way up so it basically fits in right here. There you go. That looks decent enough to me. I'm just going to move that over just so much that it's a tiny bit higher up. There you go. But we're going to move the whole thing back up again so we can click it, because otherwise I click the Flatride instead, and I do not want that. I want to have this one. And we're going to change the image, and I do have quite a lot of images in here, as you can see. I do have a couple of things that I wanted to test. So we do have a bit of a concrete texture, but that way should be way too big. That one over here I like quite a bit, the dry dark, but this is not really what I wanted. And there are a couple of other things I should have in here, and I'm not sure if any of those. There's one. This looks kind of cool. It's quite a big one. The elegant stone tiles we have in here. That looks pretty damn good. We also have a bit of gravel. We have some grass. We have some gravel small, but they all don't look that good. We also have an industrial tile, which is also kind of nice. We have some dark marble. I don't really like that one. That doesn't work either. That one doesn't either as well. So maybe this is the only one still working. I don't know. But I feel like I have a favorite with this, either this elegant stone. I think we're going to go for this one first. I'm going to move the whole thing down. So what I was looking for is a kind of polished stone, because the only little negative aspect of this little trick is that this thing is kind of shiny, you know. So you can't really do like proper stone as over here, because you don't have the kind of matte finish to it, because the screen always will be, as you can see over here, tiny little bit polished, and with the ray tracing it just gets that effect. But now, as this could actually be polished stone, I'm very fine with it. I think this style-wise fits in super well, and this is exactly what I wanted to achieve with it. I like it a lot. Let's see if they don't clip too much in it. I mean, we could always, but the problem is I think I'm able to. I mean, I could push that ever so much down that it is just about that, and then it just looks even better, I guess. I mean, it does have these kind of roundish things here, but I feel like it's okay. I mean, I could technically move them down so you can't see them by hopefully just... Oh, well, is that the group? Is this the group? Hold on, can I move it down? Where is the... Oh my god, is that the... Okay, well, technically I could, but I think I don't want to. I think I'm gonna leave it the way it is. So yeah, this is what I did with the screen over here. I'm quite a big fan of how the shadows interact with the textures by now. That's a very good way of doing it. There are some more textures I'm gonna test in the future because, and also let me just go in here for this building first of all, because obviously something that is really different is when you have the square one normal and the square one lit. So let's put them next to each other, and I'm just gonna go and change the image of that one. First of all, let's say concrete to the lit one, and we're gonna say, oops, change the image, and then we're gonna put this concrete to the non-lit one. You can see there's a huge difference, obviously, in those two. And the lit ones also, they work indoors pretty cool as like a very nice lit LED screen. Obviously you can have a lot of fun with this one, but then again indoors you still have the same problem with the lighting. But if you have a very matte texture, it kind of works okay, so you can do some shenanigans with it, like for example having yeah, you can also put them below water. But if you have these things, for example, I do like them quite a lot, but they don't really work from a perspective like that. But what they do, funnily enough, work pretty fine for is like wall templates. Like if you have like a wall like this and then you look straight towards the wall in indoor section, I think it can work pretty damn fine. But you obviously have to check out if it works, you know. What it always does work well for is like if you have like an aquarium, for example. I'm always like, I don't know, but I do think they may actually work better if you have the non-lit ones for the aquariums. I'm gonna put the lit one next to it and just gonna change the image also to the aquarium. I mean, it depends on what kind of look you want to have. This looks obviously properly lit and as in an aquarium, but I do also like these colors as if there is like a proper screen, like a mirror in front, not a mirror, but like a window in front of it. But you know, you do have to decide yourself what you like better. I'm just a big fan of finally having this again. So yeah, what shall I say? This is today's episode. There's going to happen a lot more in the future, guys, with billboards and stuff. As I have promised in the voiceover, there is going to be a lot more happening to, you know, not only this area but also to the park itself. Okay, you know what, just let's fly up for a second so we can speak about the next proper episode. And I'm not even going to reveal in which of the ones something is happening. Maybe if eagle-eyed people will keep on watching the episodes, they will eventually find out in which of those, but you will never find out what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what you say to the growth of this series. So in the next episode there will be two things happening. This haul over here is going to be taken into account, and obviously I'm going to finish this corner over here. This big boy is not going to be big part of the whole area. I thought a long time about this. Maybe I'm going to put some very simple stuff in to just draw some more people into this area, but my current idea is to just have some fake spawners in here as if this is a hotel or something like that, because I was thinking to just have like a bridge crossing over here and make this Speicher-In hotel being part of both sides. So yeah, I'm just debating with myself, and then have just some spawners in here additionally to the park, so that also more people join from over here. But other than that, this area is not going to receive too much more stuff because there is a lot more space in this park and I don't need to cram too much more in. But yeah, this whole area is looking very, very fine by now, and I can't wait to see how this whole park is going to evolve. There were a couple of little things I still need to fix. This area over here isn't fully done, so next episode is definitely going to tackle the rest of this area plus X, because I will already put a little area in here, so that's gonna be very good. Anyways, that shall be it for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and please make sure to leave a nice comment or something down what you think of this update, what you think of this area over here, which honestly, looking at it, I'm a big fan of it. Can't deny that I really like the looks of it. Just look at that. Doesn't that spark something nice to you? Also, why is the overlay go away? But yeah, I'm just like really happy with how it turned out. We can also just have a little guest here, and then oh, look at that one having a good mood there. But yeah, so let's end this episode here in a very good mood, just as our mechanic has apparently. I am very happy with this corner, and I know that a lot of you guys like these episodes where like little areas are styled. I know that a lot of you guys have feared, as you said in the comments, that this area or like this park is maybe going to be a little bit too weird and not looking good or connected. And I know that a lot of you guys already liked the last area connection, so hopefully you like this one too. Okay, I rambled enough. I hope you guys had a good time. I see you, talk to you, hear you, whatever, in the next episode. Until then, have a good time and goodbye.